Okay, I push the button and it says we are live. Okay, so welcome everybody to the wrap up of the Lightning Hacksprint. Here we had this time in March 2021. Everybody's had a good time. Even we all stayed kind of at home. So I think it was at least a nice weekend for everybody. So what is the Hacksprint? Just quickly, it's a kind of gathering for people working in the Lightning Bitcoin sphere and just have open source projects, interested in developing, trying stuff out. It's not a hackathon. It's not about competition here. It's more like a gathering, and so that everybody can kind of step forward and get to push up projects a little bit, meet new people, come together, work on stuff. Sometimes even projects join and they just have a good time, hang out, check out other projects. But sometimes we really see great progress. And I invited some projects here to kind of for the wrap up, for the demo. And so we will just kind of go through the projects and see what was happening. So one project was the netpositive.money. I have to say, say hello? Hi there. Can you microphones on?
Hi.
Hey there.
All right. And so netpositive money is about compensating CO2 footprints, so give a voluntary, decentral way to take care about this problem. So, and you were working on the website that's already out there. Give us an overview. So, what I saw some designs, layouts where we're going around. Would be great to even share the screen and show us something there. And even you can also shortly describe of course, the project quickly, but we keep it 5 minutes kind of area.
Sure. Well, I'm sharing my screen now to talk about this. I think I'm kind of new to this project, to be honest. So Stefan could probably talk about it a little bit better. Stefan, do you want to give a quick description, or do you want me to just dive into what we've been working on?
Just a few words. Net Positive Money is a project about Bitcoiners who are interested in doing something about climate change, and also for the general public. So there are basically two target audiences. It's the general public who heard that Bitcoin will boil the oceans, and we want to give them the facts. And the other thing is we are about Bitcoiners who want to do something to make sure Bitcoin becomes net positive in a way. So we can say then one day, we hope that one day we can be sure that Bitcoin was good for the climate, not bad. We do this with offsetting or donating to climate organizations. And we have this website right here now, but it has a lot of text and a lot of stuff, but doesn't have very good UX. And this weekend was about improving that, and Stephen has made some great progress here, I think.
And just to verify, everybody can see my screen with the current Net Positive Money website.
It looks good.
Okay, so yeah, my kind of goal for this weekend was to just try and figure out a way to structure this content most effectively, because there's a lot of scientific content and research content. It's a lot to take in, and so I just was trying to find some ways that I could present it to people that would be easier for them to navigate and find what they're looking for, depending on what kind of audience they are. So I've just been kind of doing some mock-ups in Figma here, and I mean, they're really like black and white for the most part right now, because I wasn't really trying to focus on like branding and amazing visuals and stuff like that. I'm really just trying to focus on getting people to where they're going. So Stefan and I kind of narrowed it down to like two main target audiences, which is like Bitcoiners who would be interested in learning more about carbon footprint, and then also the general public who is maybe open to the idea of Bitcoin, but and wants to learn more about the facts about the power usage. And so we try to like speak to these different audiences on the homepage here, directing people who are already into Bitcoin down one path, and then directing people who don't necessarily know about Bitcoin down this other path right here. And so trying to direct the newbies to the frequently asked questions page, and we don't want to pare down the text content. It's all good content, but I'm just trying to present it in a way that's easier for people to find what they're looking for. So there's kind of a table of contents bar on the left-hand side here that you would be able to click and, skip to a specific article, no matter where you are on the page. Got a recommendations page right here. Well, I guess really it'd be kind of interesting to look at maybe the calculator, which this is kind of an interesting thing that Stefan and his team have been working on about compiling the data, and they've programmed some stuff in Elm that will allow you to present the data or to kind of narrow in on the data and look at specific segments. Like you could look at from 2018 to 2019, based on the Bitcoin that was mined in that time period and what data we have available. This is how much CO2 that is estimated to have been done. And for this many Satoshis or this many Bitcoin in this time period, this is how much carbon you would have to offset. So I was trying to find a way to lay out this interface in a way that would be easier for people to use. And then once they've, selected their time period and, figured out how much carbon they want to offset, we can direct them to the offsetting page or the recommendations page. The recommendations page would kind of show like different organizations that NetPositive has kind of vetted or has a relationship with, and we're trying to provide ways for people to filter. So like, if someone wants to say offset in a classical way, like to offset carbon in the present, they could do that. Or if they want to look at something that's more of an effective way of doing it, such as like investing in nuclear power or something along those lines, they could use that option. Or they could choose, do they want to invest in fiat or do they want to invest in Bitcoin? Or, which jurisdiction are you located in? If you live in Germany, you might want to donate to an organization that would give you a tax benefit in Germany. But if you live in the US, you might want to donate there. So we're trying to provide ways for people to filter based on what kind of organizations that they want to donate to. And then there's I'm preserving a lot of this text down here that's currently on the website that describes, how NetPositive is arriving at the conclusions that they've arrived at. And I've done a little bit of work on the mobile layout as well, just trying to present the same layout, but in a more mobile-friendly way. So this is pretty much the same thing we were just looking at, but the table of contents bar is, presented in its own little layout there. And just to kind of, wrap things up, I've been thinking a little bit about the colors too. Like I said, I really have not been thinking about branding or amazing visuals, but I have, started doing a little bit of thinking about trying to work some icons and graphics in there and things like that, and working different colors in. And, this is some of the other pages with some other colors worked in. And I've just been, experimenting with some warmer colors on other pages. So this is all very early stuff. I'm sure that, the NetPositive team will have a lot to discuss about this in the coming weeks. And I will actually paste some links into the Jitsi chat as I wrap up here. So if anybody wants to look at the Figma files, you're welcome to do that and provide feedback and comments. So I think that's about all I have to say. If anybody has any specific questions or anything, I'm happy to answer them now, but I'll turn it back over to the moderator.
Yeah, thank you.
If I can figure out how to stop sharing my screen with Jitsi.
Let's see.
I think that's what I pressed. Oh. Did I do it?
I think so. I have to switch on my camera and then I should be visible.
I'll go ahead and paste my Figma links into the chat here.
Yeah, the chat is not public for everybody, but what would be perfect is put your links in the wiki. It's the wiki.fulmo.org where the challenges. That's kind of the place where everybody can find all the links and all the resources. Would be great to also link there for people to look at them up. That would be great. So it's wiki.fulmo.org. It's where we kind of organize. And if you need edit rights or something, just let me know. I can give you after the wrap up.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really it looks awesome. So haven't seen this project from the beginning. So this is definitely a great step forward. That much more. It's looking great. Really, love to see this in real. So from the design layouts now into implementation. Okay, so we jump over to the next project. There was a team that was doing WireGuard VPN through Lightning payments. So this sounds great. So are you here?
Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah. So I'm Ankur, and with me is Michael. Like we both worked on this project, and you might know us from Bowls Exchange before, which is privacy first, account free, Lightning Network Exchange, which you guys can use to sort of refill your Lightning channel in completely non-custodial way. So this weekend we saw this Lightning bug. I'm sure you saw from the Lightning Labs team as well. So there was this really interesting idea about using Wirecraft to stream payments, WireGuard VPN to stream Lightning payments and get WireGuard VPN data in return. So we thought about like hacking together on that, and we came up with a pretty nice to use minimum viable product right now. So yeah, maybe Michael will take over from here, share the screen, and show you guys the demo. And yeah.
Oh yeah, please. So if somebody can screen share and show us a little bit of it, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So we really started with this project like 24 hours ago. So it's really proof of concept and hacky, but it works. So right now I have just a Telegram bot where I can send a command to create a new voucher for 100 megabytes, and I get a Lightning invoice in return. I'm just going to pay that invoice real quick. 1 second. Once the invoice is paid, I get like the response from the bot and a question: how would I like my WireGuard configuration file, either as file, as config file, or as QR code. The WireGuard mobile apps support scanning QR codes. So if you have this on your desktop, you can just scan a QR code inside of the WireGuard mobile app and have your VPN in there. But since I'm a desktop, I'm just going to click on File, and I get the WireGuard configuration file in return. I can even activate this one real quick to show you that it actually works. Just gonna copy paste that in there and activate the VPN.
Oh, I think we lost screen share.
Yeah, you lost screen share, I think, Michael. You there?
Oh, the VPN changed, the network changed.
Oh.
That's an interesting side effect. So it worked. So okay.
Yeah, we know it worked.
We know it worked. So you're out of the Jiu-Jitsu room because your network configuration changed. You're on the VPN now that you paid with Lightning. Cool.
Yeah. So basically, it's WireGuard is an open source, completely private proof of concept, private like VPN, which anybody can use. So basically, what you can do is right now it's prepaid, so you get a voucher in return, as Michael showed you guys. But what we plan to do in the future is sort of make it stream-like payment. You could, like, if you have an Umbrel node, for instance, running in your computer, what you can do is you can just stream directly for every KB of data that you do through your VPN. So I think that would be pretty cool, especially in places like China or Iran, where it can be done in a completely sort of decentralized way. So it would be pretty nice. And yeah, props to Lightning Labs for coming up with that idea. And yeah, looking forward to how we can improve and iterate on it in the future.
Cool, because I really love to pay, especially for such services like VPNs with Lightning. I'm doing it myself a little bit also with the third-party service for Mulvad, but it's really it's still a third-party service, and to see more and more tools now out there that make this possible, and even getting into the streaming kind of area. Sounds great. So for 24 hours.
It would actually be completely sort of non-custodial and no trust involved, right? Like you pay for what data you use. So it's pay per stream basically. And yeah, it's actually pretty. And if you saw, the user experience is pretty good. And if you have like a Wirecraft client installed on your iOS app, let's say if you're using an Apple phone or Android phone, you can just scan the QR and you have a VPN. And just so easy to get up and running. You don't need to be like a technical person to be able to run it. I think that's something which is amazing. Yeah.
Perfect. So okay, please also put into the wiki the things.
Sure.
Yeah, the reference, and that people can maybe even join, and because it's all open source, right? So people can really good collaborate on this and then build this also into their projects and stuff, right?
Yeah. Right now we have a private repo, but we will open source it soon once we finish polishing it. So yeah.
Yeah, as we said, in 24 hours, it's really hacky.
For 24 hours, it's a great start. It's to see really that this is working nice. So really keep us updated. Maybe even on the next Hacksprint or Hack Day when we can meet. Definitely would like to play with this a little bit more. All right, cool. Next project I have on my list is the Lightning browser extension. So Boomi, I think you're kind of entered the project, but you found good company, and I saw some progress. Maybe quickly say what is it about, and then there's also, I think, some design stuff happening. I would love to see.
Yep. Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, the Lightning browser extension is a new browser add-on with the goal to bring Lightning payments closer to the internet, closer to the browser, that allows you to directly pay from within the browser, and then, for example, also to stream money to websites. It's a project that started actually at the last Lightning Hacksprint in December. Since then, we've made some progress on the technical side and focused on the general architecture of the application and experimented with how it's possible to connect to multiple different node implementations, etc. And on this Hacksprint in the last day or two, more or less, thanks to John's and input from the Bitcoin design community, we were focusing on the user experience side and came up with some of the important UX flows and some initial designs for it. And with that, I would hand over to Johns. You want to talk a little bit about the process and the results that we have?
Sure, no
because
problem.
I think it looks super awesome and it gives a great overview of what might be possible or what will be possible once the extension is ready and usable.
Yeah, thanks for that, Boomi. And okay, so I started up on the project with Boomi, just recently joined. And for the Hacksprint, focusing on the UX, there were some questions about like the differences between Lightning Joule and like other existing browser extensions and stuff like that. So I really wanted to get an understanding of like what is it we're building and like what's the value proposition and stuff. So we went through this process of like trying to get alignment, first defining like what is the product or what's the project about. And then we moved into what does it do, and we used these like little voting things between me and Boomi. These little voting things to indicate like where our focus should be. Of course, we need to know who we're building it for, who we're targeting, and in this case, specifically, the side that we were focusing on during the Hacksprint is the content consumers. And of course, some long-term goals. What's the long-term goal? A whole Lightning Web3 ecosystem for content monetization. That's an alternative to ads. And we started like getting into like a lot more of the details now, like what are the specific user challenges? What are the challenges, friction points for the consumer using this browser wallet? And so we listed out a bunch here. And again, trying to get focus, we do some voting. because can't do everything in 24 hours, of course. And from that, we start categorizing, all these challenges. We turn them into opportunities. So we have, and we kind of define, properly defined what it is we're building. So a tool for content consumers to manage their identities and payments with publishers. And the different components of that is, the onboarding, setting up the Lightning browser extension with an LND account. That's the first type of node that will give you access, pay invoices, display balances, monitoring spending, because you have money that's just like coming out of your wallet, your Lightning node. You need to know where it's going to and whatnot. So that was quite an important part. Setting and managing allowances. So something that's quite interesting and unique about Lightning browser extension is that this concept of enabling websites or publishers to be able to take money from the wallet. Of course, as just as that sounds, there's a lot of things to consider there, because what if the site is a malicious actor and whatnot. But it is a point in UX that we want to look at, because having to if you're watching a video and you're paying every 1 minute, you don't necessarily want that to be prompting you every time, right? So we need to kind of figure out how to reduce the friction points there. Unlocking the account, send and receive. Although send and receive in pasting invoices and generating invoices within the wallet is not actually the primary focus. It's actually the relationship with the publishers and whatnot. But of course, useful feature to have. We didn't do too much of the, we didn't really touch on that during this Hacksprint though. Switching accounts, allowing website to access the wallet. So these are switching accounts is not something that is currently supported, but at least we now have a roadmap, and Boomi can take this on and engage other designers and developers to work on the project, and we kind of mapped it out here. Okay, so now we have those challenges. We need to start mapping out the user flow. So we did this exercise where we're writing down 6 steps in the user flow, and just as quickly as possible, just trying to fill up these cards. Then once we have all these laid out, we're able to start organizing it into a user journey, right? So the journey starts from the user visits the website and wants to consume some awesome Bitcoin content. They presses the pay button, but the website informs them that WebLN or a local Lightning wallet is not detected. So they're asked to install the extension. They read the description of the extension. They install it from the web store or as a package or whatever. Then they go through the onboarding flow where they set up the node. Once they've confirmed that, they click that pay button again. They're prompted to enable the website to interact with the node, retrieve content, account information and whatnot, and to be able to actually prompt for payments. All right, so so once that's done, we have a little branch here. So the user can choose either to pay once, or they can choose that they want to set an allowance so that it doesn't prompt them again, keep prompting them. So if they choose to set an allowance, they input the allowance amount and the frequency, whether it's when does the allowance get renewed. They would put that in there. They approve with the allowance, and then they're able to see the content. The content unlocks, or the video starts streaming, or whatever. Then with that allowance, we're thinking to the allowance should be probably the amount that they are getting requested to pay initially. I'm pretty sure there's some other considerations that we need to make there. But starting with the minimum amount, if the wallet, if the website requests that amount again, and the allowance is now 0, it would ask them to, adjust their allowance settings, right? And then, yeah, so they adjust their allowance settings, blah, 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 and they could increase, decrease it. They're also able to like pause the allowance. So yeah, this is the entire user journey here that we defined for now. Yeah, then the next part is like, okay, well, we're supposed to be designing this thing, right? So let's do some design research. So we went out, start putting together some, just screenshots from like the web, awesome projects like Sphinx Chat, doing this thing with tribes, also similar to the publishers kind of concept there. Of course, the usual kind of extensions like this, Lightning Joule as well. And then we brought it into design. And yeah, so these are the design mockups, more high fidelity, taking those ideas from the user journey and mapping it out into something more visually pleasing, I guess. For this, I used the Bitcoin Wallet UI Kit, a project by Christoph, another member of the Bitcoin design community. And it just enabled us to like quickly like mock up and put these prototypes together. We didn't get, of course, all the way to finish this, but hopefully this serves as a foundation to continue to work. So that's it.
Definitely. Just remember, this was just 23 hours, right? Because we had even 1 hour less. So then that's a lot of output there. So and then good results. So getting really through the whole user journey, the focus setting, the user journey, and then coming to kind of first design layouts. Wow, that's thank you for that. That's looking great, and I really hope to it. Of course, now implementing sometimes takes time, so nobody should jump too quickly. But I think Boomy, this is a great thing now to work on, right?
This is amazing, yeah. And big shout outs to the Bitcoin design community, who are generally doing amazing work to improve the user experience for all the Bitcoin projects and have some great inspiration there. So yeah, thank you guys, and that's just super important work.
No problem. Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, and yeah, thanks for having me on board to experiment with it as well. And yeah, anyone wants, we have a Slack. You could just jump in if you have a project that you just want some designers to talk to, or to do a design review. We do that every 3 weeks on a Monday. Yeah, you could present your projects, and yeah, we give you some feedback.
That's great, and thank you really for joining the Hacksprint also from your side, because this is a little bit sometimes a project has to wait for somebody kind of, hey, here's some resources you could use, and then very thankfully getting such input. And also it shows that such projects like on Hacksprint, people can participate even if they are not a programmer. Even from that kind of side, there's a lot of input, and even if there's a thing in your process you were doing there, it would really have no problem to have even people that coming really just from a user perspective, right, to get their input a bit on the focus setting and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, the process is meant to like get alignment with everyone on the team, and so it's like, let's get the ideas out of our heads, put it on paper, and let's try to create something cohesive with it. Perfect.
Thank you very much. This because great results for that short of kind of time. So so the next project I have here on my list is the Money Socket from JD.
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Just gotta share my screen. All right, should be coming through. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so yeah, Money Socket. So Money Socket, for those who don't know, it's open source protocol. So the goal is to publish libraries that speak this protocol such that you can include that library in your app. and then your app can connect to Lightning providers such that your app can then start driving micropayments. So we have a number of apps in the ecosystem. We built the Costanza wallet. We started it last Hacksprint. I'm going to show just a little bit of it at the end. But the task for this Hacksprint is the chat app that I described in the intro video. So the work I did during the 23 hours here is I built the server. So I did this diagram right here that I posted to our Mattermost channel. This server box, this is kind of what I implemented here, but I might as well just actually show you it working. So it's running in this terminal here. So it's just a basic chat server. So it has accepts WebSocket connections incoming and facilitates messages being echoed out. But it has a twist in that it's invoicing for the messages, such that you can't actually propagate the things you type unless if you pay an invoice. So on the back end of this server, it's talking to our terminus component, which is the thing that's actually connected to a node. So it has an account set up for it, which I call chat server. So yeah, the app here is connected via money socket to this account, which has 1,018 Satoshis in it. So it's going to be invoicing the clients to pay into that account essentially. So these are the clients. Now, I haven't done any CSS. I haven't really actually got into any working on the clients yet. But the key feature, I might as well type something real. Hello, Hacksprint. So you type a message, and right now, so that it'll send that message that I typed to the server, which it received, and generate an invoice. Now, the design of this app is that it's not going to display this invoice. It's going to forward it to MoneySocket to the wallet and have that paid automatically. But just for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to pay that just manually, talking to the raw node. So I pay that, and then the server receives the payment, and then it echoes the message that was typed to the connected clients. And then if you reload these clients, it keeps a history of all the messages. So it's less like IRC where it loses the messages, and it's more like Mattermost or Slack where there's sort of a history that's persisted. So if you disconnect and connect back in, you get all the messages that happened while you were away. So the idea there is to forward this invoice that got put in here to the MoneySocket interface. So we have code for that. We have a JavaScript library. So the library, the Costanza wallet, uses the JavaScript library for all that. So this wallet has a MoneySocket connection, which can go back to one of these accounts. So yeah, I believe that's even what's happening. It's connected to one of these beacons. It's connected to this account, this CCC account. So this wallet has 700 sats, and then this one would have an upstream connection to an app. So the idea is we connect upstream to whatever future interface we're going to add here, such that this wallet gets paired with the app. And then this wallet has some permissions that it can set to authorize a certain amount of balance that this chat app can draw from. So you're not exposing the entire balance, you're exposing just whatever you choose. And like the previous presentation, John's talked about various you want to protect against malicious apps. That's kind of the idea there. And there's actually a whole bunch of different ways you can start to think about how you would want to protect against a chat app or something like this from drawing your whole balance, something like a circuit breaker or something like this. But fundamentally, this code is running in the browser, so even the browser could be monitoring those transactions and cut off malicious ones. Like the purpose of the browser is to sort of protect your interest as well. So yeah, I'll wrap that up here, but yeah, I'm going to continue working on this chat app this week. We have the MoneySocket Telegram chat. You can find the links on the wiki and all that. But yeah, I'm happy to talk about this. And if you want to be involved writing apps like this, come join us in the Telegram, tell us about it. And yeah, we'd be happy to talk and help you out in any way we can.
Perfect. That looks good. So the wiki is wiki.fulmo.org. There you should find all the links. Yeah, and again, everybody, please, from the projects, even those that are not presenting here, because there are some still hacking out and say, oh no, I'm still working on something before I like to go ahead. There was one mention, somebody wanted to speak. I just saw this popping up here. Jump in. Okay. Okay. All right. So things in the wiki, links in the wiki, wiki.fulmer.org. So the next project I have here is the, let me see, Lightning ATM. 21 is enough. Are you there? It's kind of a classic project. So, but every time a little bit progress. So let us know what happened.
Sure. Let me also quickly share my screen. I mean, just so that there is something, I don't have anything to show apart from this picture. But yeah, so maybe maybe you've seen the Lightning ATM. There is an ever-growing community.
We don't see a picture yet. Not sure. You wanted to show a picture?
Yes. Don't I share my screen? I think oh, maybe.
Not seeing it yet.
Is there someone else still sharing the screen?
Oh, there it is now. Okay, perfect.
But, oh, okay, so then there was probably a lag in the connection. Let me start it again. Can you see it now?
Yes, we see the browser and the beautiful pictures of the Lightning ATM.
All right, good, very well. Yeah. So there is an ever-growing community. Our Telegram group grows and grows, and more people build their ATMs and got questions. So nowadays, I spend a lot more time helping people to get up and running than actually developing new stuff. But this weekend, I worked a little bit on it because there were some requests in the last couple days, in particular to how wallets, like what kind of wallets you can use with the ATM, and also what features that they support. I originally started just supporting LND over REST as a wallet backend, and later then added the LNTX bot, the Telegram bot, as well as an option. So those two work. I now made it so that you basically can choose when you are the customer of the ATM, that you can choose whether you want to get a LN URL QR code displayed and scan that in order to receive your Satoshis, or you can generate a QR code on your phone, on your mobile wallet, and show it to the ATM, to the camera, that then scans your Lightning invoice and pays that invoice. So those two kind of features, at the end, it's really just about how the Lightning invoice is transmissioned, right? So either we're using the LN URL scheme over HTTPS, or we use just the camera functionality of the ATM to scan an invoice and then pay that invoice directly. There are wallets around maybe that don't yet support LN URL. And in the particular case of LNTX bot, we've only and always ever used the LN URL feature, which is now there is a feature added that you could use the LNTX bot as well with the scanning of an invoice. That was merged about 2 hours ago. And yeah, I've been doing some research, and so if there's anyone out there who has some ideas, I remember a couple months ago, people were working on a little library or a tool that would help projects like mine to sort of streamline or to unify the whole wallet backend. Because, yeah, as I said, I started working with LND and kind of implemented in a rudimentary form. I work in Python, so I implemented these request calls to the LND node. But I would love if there was some sort of a library that I could just work with and wouldn't need to worry about what implementation people use, right? Whether that's LND or Seed Lightning, Eclair. If there were either have to do that myself or could use, or someone would create an open source project where that would be possible. It would be a lot easier to do. But then we also talked in our Telegram group the other day about LN bits, and I do think that is a very interesting possibility to also not, because right now you have your Lightning, your LND macaroons on that Lightning ATM stored on the SD card. With LN bits, you could sort of separate create a separate wallet that's just dedicated to your Lightning ATM, and then just give it API credentials to that LN bits wallet, and use that wallet in order to operate your Lightning ATM. And that would actually be a lovely addition. But yet again, that's another another API to talk to. So we'd need to do some refactoring definitely, and work a bit more with with a bit more general wallet backend. I think that's sort of something I want to work on a little more. And then also Tor support, definitely something interesting. We often deal with issues with local hosts and certificates and whatnot. So it would be a lot easier if we could just do this over Tor. And all the full node projects that are out there seem to have support pretty much built in by default for Tor. So that would be a lovely way and pretty straightforward for people to set it up.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely share the on a lot of topics, like with this a small Python library that can give a more abstract view to the outside. It would be very, very nice to have for a lot of projects to be in the back end a little bit more flexible. That would be great. So you can see everybody's out there listening. There is still stuff to work on, even if you want to support Lightning ATM as an example project, but even such libraries then can be used, of course, in other implementations. Yeah, thank you very much. And of course, I think everything to find about the project is in the wikis too. But if you have you should see the address here. lightningatm.me should also bring you to all the instructions to build such a Lightning ATM yourself, right?
Exactly, yes. docs.lightningatm.me is the whole setup page, what exactly you need. There are all the hardware requirements listed, all the components, software requirements, and then there's a bunch of videos to go through the hardware setup process, a bunch of YouTube videos where I show you how to do that, wiring details, pretty thoroughly explained. And yeah,
there's no excuse. There's no excuse anymore to not build a Lightning ATM.
Definitely not. No, definitely not.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for the presentation and giving us an update.
Good. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so let's check the 21 is enough with the Lightning ATM. There is a project that is doing Lightning payments based on online surveys. They still in the works. They said we just want to hack out more a bit until it's a little bit more ready, and they promise to publish the results on the MetaMost channel, and of course always Twitter them out, and we're happy to retweet them to the rest of the community. So and also if you sometimes maybe we will produce even more in between video content. We have to see maybe, and if you want to keep up, by the way, with what we're publishing here on the video channel, of course hit the bell, subscribe, all the good things here for what you do on YouTube. Okay, so let's see what's next on the list. Oh yeah, it's the Raspberry Blitz. So for project I'm quite familiar with. So but from my side, I can say what we were doing was a good. We did some support, people putting up notes and in the MetaMost, or trying out the new release candidate for the 1.7. So we did some introduction there, discussed some features, and a lot of people, or some people, were installing it and trying it out. So we already got some feedback and still know what to fix, of course, because early release candidate to clear out the bugs. And so this is, but basically what also is on our horizon now is, of course, going to. Somebody has this microphone on. Can you please? I don't know. I don't see them. So how we can go in the future with a web UI, because this was something we always wanted to have, of course, and web UIs are very, very important, we heard today. So we laid out some structure, what we want to reach, and figuring out some what frameworks to use, how we organize this, and even also there it would be nice if we start a web UI now for Raspberry Blitz. Maybe we can make it even a little bit more abstract, so that even other node projects, open source node projects out there, can just choose it. So it's easy maybe to make a node project that just uses C Lightning in the backend, or some other Lightning implementations or Bitcoin implementations, so that there's easily forkable and reusable, as we like it as an open source project. But we have one support kind of issue on the Raspberry Blitz. I have people around here that, and Kemal, you have a special problem with the Raspberry Blitz, and you got some support, and you at least try to figure this out. Can you give us a little bit more the idea of how to, what was your problem and how you approaching it?
Yeah, the problem was that certain ISPs in certain jurisdictions block Tor project domains. And since most Raspberry Blitzes run over Tor, which is best practice, it's a problem when you want to update Tor to a newer version. This is especially critical this year, because version 2 addresses will be deprecated, and a switch to version 3 will be necessary. So Tor update is necessary, which is not possible in the jurisdiction that I am currently in, because the Tor project domain is blocked, and the Raspberry Blitz cannot fetch the updated packages through ClearNet. And yeah, Nix helped me, or I helped him basically find solutions for this. There's several approaches to this. One would be basically to use a VPN, but unfortunately also the ISP blocks VPNs. So if you don't have the VPN, it's also not a solution. So OpenArms also came up with a solution to basically use a software for the router, which may or may not work with every router. I forgot the name of the software because my router was not eligible. Yeah, still looking into solutions. Maybe Nix can tell a little bit more about what ideas he has for it, because obviously circumventing this kind of censorship is pretty important. And
Nix, are you there?
Yes, the ATM screen is still sharing. Fine.
Oh, 21 is enough. Could you stop the screen share, please?
I don't.
Okay. We have two screen shares. I'm getting. Let's see. Now it's changing. Oh no, somebody. I'm also a little bit confused here right now. No, I see from Annex. Genau. Now it's coming up. Okay, let's go.
So, pretty Flacco problem. He couldn't fetch, like he explained earlier. So there was no way from downloading from the official repo. He had to download from the Debian or Raspbian repo. But it also cured the DNS, the URL he was reaching to. So I came up with a solution for him to download from Tor browser the sources and SCP to the Pi. This I think was the best solution, most safest, but it also needs some manual digging. It's not a script. So after I need to build the script for him to initialize Tor, because Tor, when it initializes, it starts running, and if it starts running, his ISP or government will be warned that he's using Tor. And that could be kind of a security problem. So I made a script for him to mask Tor before running, so Tor isn't loaded. He add bridges on the script, and after adding bridges, he can initialize Tor. So all the connection is made clear, and his ISP or government will not know what he was doing. And I think this is it. Yeah.
Thanks. That really sounds good.
But I
yeah.
already had bridges earlier. That's why Tor failed.
Yeah, the thing is, it's good to really work on this issues to really, especially for those kind of regions, we also want to deliver kind of the network to. So, and you're absolutely right. So I'm also a little bit hesitant to say, oh, this is the perfect solution, but you never know what side effects you have in your country of detecting stuff and maybe getting back to you. So. It's definitely something we should collect on, and maybe even on the build script we can give multiple options what to do, and then we have to explain that quite during the build. There should be a warning, like if you use that option, this could make trigger this or that.
Yes. I deleted it from TorRC now because I already had tested bridges earlier, and the bridges were fake bridges. That's why Tor didn't start. So the script stopped here and ask if the user wants to add bridges. He can choose no, and the script will continue. But also he need to do apt over Tor as I explained on the Tor project. So HTTPS won't work for him now because it's blocked.
Yeah,
and that's their workaround.
That's definitely a thing. When we were talking about or thinking about Tor by default at the moment, it was more like if you have the Raspberry Blitz setting up and running. But this is also still, the build script is still a part of the journey. Really, if you really want to start and check the code yourself and build the image yourself, so this should definitely work also kind of Tor by default, and should offer a little bit more options even now to respect those kind of areas that where exposure could happen fast, and this could have consequences for people. So there's definitely something to look into and provide better solutions. Do you have everything documented in the issue on the Raspberry Blitz GitHub? So that
yes, I'm documenting everything. Yeah, the code isn't finished yet because I'm not a fast coder. I'm not a coder. I'm not a professional. So I'm trying to.
Even if you, that's always a thing. Just put your findings in those issues, and so that we have them on the have them in our kind of release setups. And also, I think the building on the Tor will not be part of the 1.7 and from the get go. But maybe then we can work on improving on the building on the SD card then for the 1.8 then with a little bit more caution. So because again, making mistakes here there is it's not an easy topic. So but this looks good. So thank you very much for and Kemal, thanks you for bringing this issue up, and so that we can know what to improve on that point. So thanks very much. Let's check.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's check over to the next project. If possible, stop the screen sharing. Let's see. All right. I have here somebody that at least there was interest in some basic work for an Allen Bits bounty with an extension for. So Tommy Jack, do you want? I know it's work in progress, but again, just let us know what you're working on and what you're what you're going for this bounty.
So hello. Yesterday I was following a discussion on the Lightning Hacksprint between Con and Ben Ark, and they were discussing about a feature for a fundraising bounty for GitHub. And I was thinking it would be nice to have it also in LN bits. So it was actually this morning when I started to think a bit more about it and think how to implement it, and then looked into LN bits and found a similar extension, or an extension that could be adapted to what I would need for the bounty bounty extension. So that extension was for the tickets, and I started some work on it, so I can share the screen on how it looks like at the moment. So I hope that you are seeing the window with LN bits.
I'm seeing the screen.
Yeah, so here there is the bounty extension that I have put in. So there is just an idea that the user or the initiator or the admin of the bounty could just start a new bounty, select his wallet, set up the bounty name. I don't know, solve GitHub issue, proposal link. So there could be a link for GitHub.com issue where it could be discussed more. Then some short description, and then cost of the claim submission. So the amount of like a bond that the user who claims the bounty would have to pay. So as a way to avoid spams. So I don't know, just a little bit. Then we would create a bounty. So as I said, it's currently work in progress. So it actually doesn't do anything yet. But then the different user could submit their claim and claim the bounty. I also had an idea that there could be sort of fundraising at the same time, so that the different user who like the scope of the issue could bid their money as a way to motivate users. So, well, that's basically all I did so far. There is still a lot more work to do. It's a sort of minimal viable product. I wanted to start with and then extend it with more parts as that people might find useful. So, if there are any questions.
No, that sounds already great. So good start. So, and also I think this bounty is a lot of people thinking in this direction. I also saw another project that's especially specialized for GitHub bounties, so that you can put bounties on issues very also specialized for GitHub. But this is more a little bit. This is a free bounty system, right? So this is more like everybody can just, as you were showing, the bounty can be freely described for anything, right?
Yes, yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a GitHub or like a coding problem. It can be basically any general problem to solve.
All right, looks good. So, but you're in contact about the bounty. I heard there was we were took the Bitcoin amount for the bounty from the last Hacksprint, so it was like the value rose a lot. So I think, but you're in good contact with Ben, right? About, because he's kind of who's also to decide where we're talking bounties.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So just sync up there so that there's no misunderstanding. But definitely good work. Looking forward to, when do you think, do you have a time horizon just roundabout for your personal kind of time frame, or?
Well, I hope to have the minimum product ready next week, and then perhaps discuss it and see what can be improved or done more.
Okay, that sounds good. So then push Ben a little bit that he will update the LM-Bits version in general and have this included so that we can have it also as part of the final 1.7 release of Raspberry Blitz. That would be awesome. So push him a bit.
Good.
All right, thank you very much. So let me go back to camera and maybe stop screen share. Okay, so here I am. So far, I think this was a good overview of the wrap up, and there was also a little bit other stuff happening. But again, those are the projects I'd like to present at the end. If you want to see what was happening, you can always check the. Let me see. I'll also go quickly over to the wiki. Right to the share my screen here now myself with the Lightning Hacksprint wiki. It's on wikifulmo.org again for people that haven't memorized this right now. And you will find over here the kind of challenges. There should be all the links to the projects and the details about it. And again, every project is invited to put more information there, even afterwards, after the Hacksprint. And then the self-organized sessions. We have also had a great time, but most of them were not recorded. That's a little bit the idea of have an exchange here. And it's not somebody could record their session in the future, but then that's not the default, but it should be announced then. And again, we still, it's not our event, but it's something to recommend now if you're still in the mood for a little bit more fun and party. So the Mint Gox is happening at 8, so it should be starting around about an hour. And it's more about Lightning, gaming, Bitcoin, esports. Just follow the link over here. But it's also very simple. It's mintgox.com. So just a recommendation if you still want to fill your weekend with some Lightning and Bitcoin fun. So I think this was quite a nice Hacksprint. So 23 hours for really good output there. Hopefully we can do real events soon, but again, the situation is the situation. So if this gets longer, we will maybe have another Hacksprint in an online version, but it would be great also to see you all again in real for soon again. So looking forward to this, and thanks to everybody that joined here on the live stream demoing and also on the Hacksprint in general. Have a good time. Looking forward to see you all again. So bye from my side. And subscribe and hit the bell and all the stuff.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.